So let's return to the topic of support groups and how it plays a really important role in the recovery from sex addiction. So the reason I'm touching on this subject is because I was just going through old training materials that I was given years ago, and I came across the topic of support groups. There's a study here that had men in support groups rate the most important therapeutic factors or helpful factors when attending support groups. And so there's like 20 of them here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I do want to give you the most important, maybe the top 4 most important factors for most men in support groups. And they are group cohesiveness, catharsis, universality, and then installation of hope. And they're in that order. So the reason I believe that group cohesion is so important to men is because, at least men with addiction, sex addiction, is because oftentimes sex addicts feel kind of like stranded on an island. They're all alone, and they don't feel like they can open up and talk about their sex addiction with anybody, because if they do, it's embarrassing. There may be consequences and so forth. And so then they just keep it all to themselves. But when they enter into one of these groups, almost immediately they're in a group with a bunch of people that are exactly like them, and they are working together to overcome addiction. And so I'm guessing that's what they call group cohesiveness. And when they recognize, they have this group, they just feel better. And that's why I think I think universality plays into that, is because most men, I should say many men in the sex addiction world believe that there's no one else like them. And when they enter these groups, what they find out is there's a lot of men like them, and they don't need to feel so ashamed and so alone. And so there's this universality of fit. They fit into a particular group where they might have felt like they never fit in before. So I think that universality also helps with catharsis, which just basically means they feel better. And then lastly, there's an installation of hope. And how that, I believe, occurs is before you enter into a group, you're kind of all alone, and you have tried to stop, as a sex addict, your addictive behaviors over and over and over and over again, and you fail. And there sometimes gets to be, sometimes there's a belief that's established that you'll never get over this addiction, and you'll live with it. And when individuals enter into groups, they often find people in recovery that are succeeding in their recovery. And so I think when individuals who believe they'll never get over their addiction see others who are getting over their addiction, it really instills hope. So group cohesiveness, catharsis, universality, and installation of hope were the top therapeutic factors or helpful factors for men attending support groups.